the Court of Sea. Lord Asahi gathered for a banishment, not an execution. At least, not one the law would record. The blood-bound cutlass. 300 years, 47 wielders. Every single one dead the instant they touched the hilt.
Boy, you are no son of mine, but this court demands a final test before you are cast out.
A test? As if they hadn't already decided my death the day I was born.
They didn't even give him a choice. Hands pried open, the hilt pressed into his palm like a murder weapon. The cutlass should have killed him instantly, but instead, a crimson-violet shock howled through the hall. Chains spiraled up his forearm, the blade bending as if kneeling. The impossible became real. 3 golden-coated captains staggered backward. One choked out the word that would echo across the sea. Impossible.
Tetsuya. It's not supposed to do that. It never has.
Somehow, the bastard son still breathed, and the cutlass, after 3 centuries of slaughter, had found its master.
Silence. This abomination reeks of forbidden craft. You've conjured some dark pact, boy, and I'll have the truth.
Before the guards could touch him, the cutlass shrieked and hurled them back with a sweep of crimson lightning.
It moved on its own, protecting me. Why?
You think this proves something? Then I'll give you a stage to show your worth. Enter the Grand Pirate Tournament. Survive 10 of the strongest captains, or die in the arena. That is my final test.
That's not a trial. You are throwing him to a slaughter. He's never fought a real duel.
My lord, even the veteran captains cannot endure 10 in a row. This is an execution.
Fine, I'll fight. But when I am the last standing, you'll choke on your own decree.
The court's murmur became a roar. The date was set. Tomorrow, the bastard would fight, and the cutlass would have its stage. In the shadows, Mizuki and Tetsuya exchanged glances. The miracle had only bought him a faster grave. The morning broke gray over the arena sand. 10,000 pirates had come to watch the bastard die.
You are lucky to be standing, but my rapier will find your throat before midday.
He's quick. If the cutlass doesn't betray me, I might last 3 breaths.
Kale lunged, a blur of green and yellow. Suta parried, the shock rattling his teeth. He had never faced real killing intent.
The cutlass is hot. Too hot, like something inside it is waking up.
You are nothing but a grave already dug. I'll end this farce now.
Then the cutlass moved. Suta's arm twisted, and the black blade carved through Kale's guard in one arc. The rapier spun free. Kale's mouth hung open, his victory a heartbeat from never happening.
A whisper crawled up his spine. More. For a moment, he wanted to obey.
He had won. But his palm burned where the hilt pressed, and the cutlass felt heavier than before. The second captain, a brute with a giant axe, came fast. Suta's body moved before thought, the cutlass carving a path through armor and bone. The blade sang, the whisper twisting its edges into a clear command. More.
That wasn't my arm. It knows what it wants, and I am just holding the hilt.
The third, a red-haired killer with twin blades, lasted no longer. The cutlass tore through her guard like wet silk. The crowd's jeers had died. Now they watched in grim silence, the cutlass dripping red-violet light like a heartbeat.
Tetsuya, the castle archives. If there's any answer about that blade, it's buried here.
Dusty shelves and crumbling scrolls. They found the logbook in the deepest vault, a record of the blood-bound dead.
47 names, every single one, dead, immediately. This blade was never meant to be wielded.
Then why did Sota survive? What is he to it?
The whisper pressed against his skull. Soon, the cutlass grew heavy with hunger.
The fourth captain, a scarred titan named Morio, swung a spiked club that shattered the sand where Sota had stood.
His hand cramped. The cutlass dragged forward, hungry for Morio's blood, and his own will felt thin.
Then his vision blackened. His body whipped forward in a frenzy of cuts he did not command. He surfaced with Morio pinned, the cutlass at the man's throat, and his own voice screaming inside.
The voice clawed free. Soon you will be mine. Not a whisper now, a promise.
In the castle library, Mizuki and Tetsuya uncovered a smith's journal behind a false shelf. The brittle pages held a confession. The cutlass was forged in secret, a spirit bound inside it.
I sealed a great evil. The smith wrote of a soul too dangerous to kill, too powerful to free.
Then, the 47 dead. They were fuel. And Sota is the last.
On the arena sand, the cutlass pulsed against Sota's grip, and something ancient laughed. Captain Fen was no brawler. He carried a compass and a chart of the arena's dead angles.
I'll win without its filthy help. My skill, my will. He forced his grip to loosen.
Fen's traps closed like a tide. Sota stumbled back, bleeding from a dozen shallow cuts.
He's carving me apart. The cutlass screams for release. I can't hold it anymore.
I am the Pirate King. Through you, I will rise from the abyss.
The smith's sketch, a broken soul in 48 shards, each one a dead wielder.
48 fragments. The 48th wielder is Sota.
Sota's mind buckled. The king's laughter scraped his skull, but he refused to fall. Fen's flawless plan crumbled. The cutlass struck like a viper, and the arena fell silent again. The diagram showed 47 claimed shards, and a single blank space waiting. Captain Yuriko was a ghost. 3 knives spun from her hand before Sota even saw her draw. Sota bent backward, a blade shaving past his cheek. The king laughed through his clenched teeth.
Dance, little shard. Every drop of blood feeds me.
He caught her wrist, a half-inch from his spine, and the cutlass struck. Barely. The whisper is constant now, a second pulse beneath his skin, never silent.
In the library, Tetsuya's hands shook. The smith's confession was not a theory. It was a guilt-stained scream.
The blade will not rest until all 48 are one. My own son was the first fragment.
His son. It wasn't random. Every wielder was a piece of that monster. 47 have died. Who is the 48th?
Suta's next opponent strode into the sand. The cutlass purred, hungry for more pieces. The 7th opponent was no butcher. Hideo moved like water, his katana an extension of calm discipline.
He knows. The king whispers that Hideo is a piece too, and that I should take it.
Surrender your grip, boy. I will end this duel and every one that follows. You will never bleed again.
I am not your puppet. I'd rather fall as Sota than rise as your hollow shell.
The clash shook the arena. Hideo's form was flawless, but Sota's will sharpened every ragged parry.
I am not his fragment. I am myself, and that's enough.
Suta's blow came from his own strength. Hideo's katana spun free, and the master bowed. The crowd did not cheer. They stared at a boy who broke a blade with nothing but stubbornness. The king's rage screamed through his skull. Then, silence. The cutlass turned ice cold in his grip.
It's quiet. Finally quiet. But I know this isn't over.
The 8th captain was a colossus. Ezra swung a warhammer that cratered the stone floor. Suta dodged, but the shockwaves rattled his bones. The cutlass felt like dead iron.
It's not helping. The king is punishing me for my defiance.
He won through raw desperation, a desperate lunge that found Ezra's throat. But he collapsed before he could rise. Mizuki and Tetsuya burst through the arena gate.
Sota, the smith's final entry. Your bloodline, you are the 48th fragment.
If you bond fully, The king will overwrite your soul. You will cease to exist.
Then I will never let him. Even if I have to die, I'll die as myself.
But his voice cracked. The weight of being the key to a monster's return crushed him, and the cutlass, cold as it was, still pulsed with the king's heartbeat.
You've carved through 9 captains. Boy, I won't shame you with mercy.
He's the 10th. If I fall here, the king wins.
The duel exploded with an impact that silenced the crowd. Greatsword and cutlass struck like thunder.
You fight like a man possessed, but I see the thing inside you.
Visions tore through Ceuta, burning ships, the pirate king laughing, a crown of skulls. Tyranny flooded his senses.
Accept me and rule. Every ocean will kneel.
Number. I am not your puppet. I will never accept.
Ceuta's blade found its mark. Gendo fell, saluting the newborn monster. The crowd gasped, but as the victory bell rang, the cutlass shrieked. A black aura erupted, coiling around Ceuta. The pirate king's spectral face overlapped his own, grinning. The champion stood, but the shadow was not his own. The coronation hall filled with uneasy silence. The blood-bound cutlass lay on the stone altar, its glow pulsing like a waiting heart. Then the king's voice tore through the quiet, no longer a whisper, but a thunder that shook the golden banners.
30 centuries I have waited. 47 shards I have reclaimed. My final piece. Accept me and let the world kneel. Together we shall rule every tide. You will be the strongest captain who ever lived, and I will be the soul that makes you so.
What have I done? I tried to kill a boy, and I've unleashed a terror far worse than any bastard could be.
Ceuta, don't listen. That thing will erase you.
The power to crush every enemy, every slight I've ever suffered. All I have to do is let go, but if I do, I won't be the one holding the sword. I'll be the sword.
His fingers trembled at his side. The cutlass seemed to reach for him across the cold stone. The king's grin widened, patient and eternal. The world held its breath for his answer.
I am not your vessel. If I am the last piece, then let the puzzle stay broken forever.
He didn't wait for a reply. His hands closed around the hilt, not to draw, but to crush. With a raw scream, he brought it down against the stone. The sound was a shriek of tortured steel and a breaking soul. The blade exploded in a fountain of black and crimson light. The court was thrown to its knees by the shock. The pirate king's form twisted, his grin warping into a silent howl as shards tore through his spectral shape. Shards sprayed outward, smoking in the cold air, each one a brief, dying star that fell and vanished. Then silence, so complete that the dust settling on the altar seemed loud. A distant rumble came from the harbor, deep as a waking monster. The sea itself seemed to answer.
He stood, hand bleeding, empty hilt still in his grip. I'd rather be nothing than his something.
In the silence, a whisper crawled through the dark, faint but not gone. The king's laugh became a patient, ticking wound. The harbor water churned emerald, a sick green light rising from the deep. Shapes broke the surface, waterlogged coats, rusted blades, eyes burning red. 47 pirates, dead for centuries, marched from the surf as one. At their head, the pirate king reformed, no longer spectral, but solid as hatred.
You shattered the blade, boy, but you freed my legions. Every fragment now answers me. Kill them all. Leave no living soul in this cursed city.
The undead surged forward, shambling toward the arena and the palace beyond. Ceuta's hands were empty. The cutlass was gone, but a fallen guard's saber lay at his feet.
No cursed blade, no second soul, just me. And if I die here, I die as myself.
He snatched the saber. Steel was steel, and he had a brother and sister to protect. The undead pirates flooded the arena like a tide of rust and hunger. Sauta, Mizuki, and Tetsuya fought back to back.
Don't you dare fall. I didn't plead with Asahi just to watch you get torn apart.
But the saber shattered on an undead corsair's rusted blade. A heavy blow sent Sauta crashing onto the blood-slick sand.
He couldn't move. The dead closed in, and the world narrowed to red eyes and clawing hands.
Then the king's shadow fell over him, and the undead parted like a curtain.
Join me now, and you will live. You will never hurt again.
His fingers twitched. It would be so easy. The pain would stop.
You are not a piece. You are my brother.
That voice cut deeper than any blade. He was not a fragment. He was Sota a fragment. He was Sota.
Her cry echoed through the storm of dead, and for a heartbeat, even the king's grin faltered. Suta shoved the king's hand aside and rose on shaking legs. The gesture was answer enough.
You were all more than fragments. You had names, dreams, people who mourned you.
The charge faltered. A few of the dead stopped, their red eyes flickering with something old. One rusted cutlass dipped. On that weathered face, a ghost of a man long dead surfaced. Another corpse turned its head, as if hearing a half-forgotten lullaby.
Destroy him. Rip the remembrance from your hollow skulls.
They remember. Your chains are breaking, one soul at a time.
More blades lowered. A thin line of undead shimmered, turning toward their tyrant. The king's visage flickered, his grip over the 47 fraying like old rope. With a shriek of pure wrath, the pirate king abandoned command and attacked directly. A handful of the awakened dead threw themselves at their mindless brothers. Rusted steel met rusted steel. The king's ghost blade screamed as it carved the air, aimed to split Sauta from crown to chest. Suta's saber caught the ethereal steel. Sparks of blue and crimson scattered like dying stars.
I will reclaim you by force. You are the keystone. Without you, the arch crumbles.
Then crumble. I'd rather be rubble than your throne, and I'll shatter your arch myself.
Behind them, Mizuki and Tetsuya drove back the hostile dead with blade and staff, buying precious breaths. Suta and the king danced a duel no living captain could survive, each strike a promise of erasure.
He's faster than any captain I fought. The saber will break if I block again.
You weaken, boy. Every heartbeat drains your resistance. Accept the inevitable, and this agony ends.
But Suta held. Not because he was strong, but because he refused to let go of himself. In a breath, Sota twisted his saber, hooked the ghost blade, and sent it spinning across the bloody sand.
You think steel can unmake a king? I have worn 1,000 forms.
His shape erupted into a towering wraith, clawed limbs, shrieking mouths, a hunger that swallowed light.
No cursed cutlass, no stolen soul. Just my feet, my will, and one swing left.
He launched himself skyward, saber gripped in both hands. The blade found the abyss and split it. A vertical seam of blinding white opened from crown to core, and the wraith split apart.
Impossible. I cannot be extinguished.
His scream twisted into silence, motes of darkness peeling away like ash from a dead fire.
It's over. The king is gone, but the 47 still stand around me.
Suta dropped to one knee, saber falling. The battle was won, but the dead had yet to find their peace. The 47 undead halted. Their weapons clattered down, and their bodies began to dissolve into luminous sand. It rose like a prayer, glimmering dust spiraling heavenward, each soul unbound at last.
They're free. All 47. The The curse is gone.
Then the world tilted. Before he hit the ground, Mizuki's arms caught him, her grip fierce and sure.
You are still you, Suta. You are still my brother.
Tetsuya knelt beside them, his old hand touching Sota's shoulder. Two moved to speak. A murmur spread through the stands. Then a single clap, Gendo. Others joined, until the arena roared not with mockery, but with awe. The captains he had carved through bowed their heads. Even Kale's smirk was gone, replaced by a grudging respect. In the shadows, Asahi lowered his gaze. The bastard he had condemned had become the strongest captain, without any curse. Suta's eyes slipped shut, but the warmth of his sister's arms told him he had won himself. A rustle cut through the silence. Sea Lord Asahi stepped forward, head low, every eye upon him.
Sota, you are my son. The Sea Lord title is yours by blood and by the proof you carved through 10 captains.
Suta's eyes opened, silver and sharp, despite the exhaustion carving his face.
Your title is stained with the blood of every innocent you discarded. I want none of it.
A murmur rippled through the stands, not of anger, but of stunned understanding.
Asahi's hand extended. At least, take my name, if not my approval.
But Suta pulled back, one arm around Mizuki, the other reaching for Tetsuya.
I'll forge my own crew, my own legend. No borrowed blade, no borrowed name.
Mizuki steadied him, and Tetsuya walked at his other side, a silent guard of two. Behind them, the Sea Lord stood alone in the sand, his shadow stretching long and thin. The streets of the capital woke around them, but the trio walked without looking back.
So, brother, where does the strongest captain go when he has no fleet?
He paused at a blacksmith's stall. The clang of hammers was a clean, simple sound. I need a sword. Nothing ceremonial, just sharp, just mine.
The smith handed him a plain saber, unadorned, unmarked, untethered.
This one has no past, just like me.
The blade settled at his belt, and the weight felt right. At the harbor, a dozen ships rocked in the tide. Mizuki pointed to a weathered sloop with patched sails.
It needs work, but the hull is sound. She'll carry us wherever you steer.
The salt breeze tugged at their clothes, and Sota allowed himself a small, true smile. The sloop cost all their savings, but the dockmaster nodded and handed over the deed. Suta found a brush and black paint. On the stern, he wrote a single word: unbound.
No curse, no bloodline, just the wind and the choices we make from here.
And each other. That's more than any legacy.
Tetsuya heaved the anchor, the chain rattling as it came free from the silt. Suta looked back at the city one final time, then turned toward the open water. The patched sails snapped full as the evening breeze caught them. The Unbound drifted from the dock, and the sea took her weight. At the helm, Sauta stood with Mizuki and Tetsuya, three silhouettes against the darkening sky. She sailed into the horizon, a small ship, carrying nothing but the name he painted himself. The Unbound sliced through gentle swells, her wake a silver seam on the endless blue. Suta stood at the bow, his cobalt hair catching the salt wind, and for once, he had no blade to answer.
The horizon feels different when you are not running toward a grave. It just feels open.
Mizuki and Tetsuya joined him at the bow, their shoulders brushing. None of them spoke. The sun was a golden disk melting into the rim of the world, painting the sea in amber and rose.
We really did it. We're free.
Tetsuya let out a low, satisfied hum, the kind an old man gives when the world finally makes sense. Suta let out a breath he hadn't known he'd been holding for 18 years.
Wherever the wind takes us, that's our port now.
And the Unbound sailed on, a speck of white against the dying sun, carrying only a name and a future no curse could claim.